I loved seeing Colin Jost come back to Saturday Night Live last night with a joke at his wife, Blake Lively's expense.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are locked in a Hollywood battle so wild it could be a movie plot.
Clearly, they were expected to make a choice. Either Baldoni or Ryan and Blake, and William Morris dropped Baldoni like a hot rock.
Except this time, the drama is real, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
Decided to leave his A-list wife for one of the most despised actresses in Hollywood. It was back in 2010 when he was married to Scarlett Johansson. Then he allegedly cheated on her with actress Blake Lively.
What started as an industry power move has turned into a full-blown war with PR masterminds, legal showdowns, and even a former CIA agent jumping into the mix.
Blake Lively is now hired, CIA alum, as her own crisis PR agent in the legal battle with Justin.
And just when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, Colin Jost threw gasoline on the fire with a joke on Saturday Night Live that left everyone stunned, including Ryan Reynolds.
Tonight on Saturday Night Live, Colin Jost came back live and clearly made a joke at Blake Lively.
This isn't just about a lawsuit anymore. It's a battle. For public perception and the way things are unfolding, reputations may never recover.
Or a missile so they can take the party to the next level. Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Justin Baldoni saying, "I'd love to work with Blake again."
It all started when Blake Lively made explosive allegations against Justin Baldoni, claiming she had been mistreated during their time working together. At first, Hollywood rallied behind her, with major stars, journalists, and social media users rushing to her defense. But then, something strange happened. Supporters started backtracking. Details didn't quite add up. Companies like Sony denied ever receiving complaints, and a mysterious leaked HR document raised more questions than answers. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't so simple, and public opinion started to shift. And that's when Saturday Night Live decided to make things even more awkward.
Your ex-wife's husband cracked this joke. The same ex-wife's husband whose show you decided to go make your first appearance on and let him write a joke for you that bombs. I mean, the whole thing is all next level.
Colin Jost, married to none other than Scarlett Johansson, who, by the way, happens to be Ryan Reynolds' ex-wife, took the opportunity to roast Blake Lively in front of millions. The joke was quick, but the impact was massive.
Which is like Justin Baldoni saying, "I'd love to work with Blake again."
Ooh, and even the audience is like laughing, but like...
People quickly connected the dots. Reynolds had previously joked about Lively's lawsuit at SNL's 50th anniversary event. And now, just weeks later, his wife was being mocked in return.
Shows SNL playing its cards of, yeah, they're clearly, they know Blake Lively is crazy. And given the appearance, she's gonna have this same reaction of, wait a second, why are you making fun of me? I thought you had our back, Sarah, Live. What's going on?
Was this SNL getting revenge? Was it just an innocent joke? Or was Jost making a deliberate move against his wife's ex-husband?
That, to me, is showing where Hollywood and all these people align. And this one was just far more interesting to talk about because given this whole appearance, which even Kevin Costner was like, what the hell are you doing wrong?
Whatever the case, the fallout was immediate. Ryan and Blake's PR team scrambled to control the damage. But by then, it was too late. The internet was already in chaos. While Lively's team was busy trying to minimize the fallout from SNL, Hollywood insiders were noticing a much bigger issue. The industry was starting to distance itself from her.
No, Justin Baldoni's never working with Blake Lively again. And notice, this joke could have been the other way around. That's like Blake Lively saying, yeah, I want to work with Justin again. They chose to make the butt of the joke on her, not on him. Incredibly telling.
At first, it seemed like she had the entire entertainment world in her corner, but cracks started showing when key figures who once supported her began deleting their social media posts or quietly stepping back.
Premiered the movie, Ryan Reynolds had unfollowed him on Insta, so had Blake, so had the rest of the cast. Now you tell me, if you're an unknown actor in this film and you know that Blake and Ryan have turned on the no-name Justin Baldoni, who are you going to follow? You know, these are weak, feckless people out in Hollywood. They have no spine. So, of course, they all unfollowed him and chose Team Blake.
It was subtle, but it was happening. Then came the HR complaint document, mysteriously leaked online. If it was supposed to strengthen Lively's case, it backfired. The document was so heavily redacted that it was impossible to verify any real details. Dates were missing, names were blacked out, and the whole thing felt more like a strategic leak than solid proof.
Anybody who's been accused of heinous, arguably what are crimes, is on vacation. I think that he is trying to gather with his family and get some semblance of peace.
And when Sony and production company Wayfarer flat out denied ever receiving complaints, things got even worse. But if you thought this was just a simple Hollywood scandal, think again, because now spies are involved. In a move that left everyone speechless, Blake Lively brought in Nick Shapiro, a former CIA official and high-level national security advisor, as her crisis PR consultant. That's right. An agent who once worked on global security threats is now handling Blake Lively's legal and PR strategy. Why? What does she know that the public doesn't?
Blake Lively hired somebody who helped to cover up Hunter Biden's laptop. But the liberals always play like, we never play dirty, we never do anything, just like Blake Lively's doing. We never do anything wrong. They absolutely covered up Hunter Biden's laptop. And this guy was one of the group of 51 senior intelligence officers who signed the widely cited and subsequently criticized 2020 open letter stating that the Hunter Biden laptop has all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. So that is now who Blake Lively is relying on, this crisis PR person. It's nuts. Like, you hired a crisis PR person because that's what you, here it was. This is what you, allegedly, this is what Team Blake leaked back on August 13th as things were brewing. Before it really got to a head, Justin hired a crisis PR team because he was hearing the rumblings. There were things leaking about him that were false. So he hired a crisis PR, and then Blake's team allegedly found out and leaked it.
Hiring an elite intelligence officer isn't exactly the go-to move for someone with nothing to hide, and fans were quick to question what Lively's next step could be. Was she planning a major legal counterattack? Was she trying to shut down certain media narratives before they spiraled out of control? Or was she simply that desperate to control the damage? Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni wasn't sitting back and letting things unfold. If Lively was bringing in a CIA specialist, he was countering with Melissa Nathan, one of the most powerful crisis managers in Hollywood. And here's the kicker, she's the same strategist who helped Johnny Depp rebuild his public image during his legal battle against Amber Heard.
Service of Melissa Nathan, who represented Johnny Depp during the Amber Heard trial, almost seemingly trying to shame him. Like, oh, look what he's resorted to, Johnny Depp's crisis PR one. The one that lied about Amber. Good for him is what I saw that says, yeah, good for him, he could use the help, just like Johnny did. But they tried to weaponize this against him. And what's really scary about this is that it seems to already be working. So now she's trying to spin it a win, but what's very telling is look who's doing it for her. Deadline PR putting out there is a win and hires crisis PR vet. Like try almost like positive. Her own crisis PR team now is trying to spin all the articles in her favor. And I'm sorry, isn't that what you're accusing Justin of doing when you were out there leaking stories about him?
Subpoena for Justin's phone records going back 2 years was called overly intrusive, limiting the window to their time together behind the scenes.
Get what she requests, which were completely overreaching records. And the judge is like, you can't have that. And then they're like, you have to ask for it specifically on your people.
That alone sent a message. Baldoni wasn't just playing defense, he was gearing up for a major PR win. And the more Lively pushed, the more it seemed like Baldoni's team was winning where it mattered most, in court. One of Lively's biggest legal moves was an attempt to subpoena 2 years' worth of Baldoni's phone records, including his call history, texts, and even location data. But in a major legal blow, the judge shot down the request, calling it overly invasive and completely unrelated to the actual timeline of the case. In other words, the court saw it as a fishing expedition, a desperate attempt to dig up anything that could be used against Baldoni, regardless of its relevance. Instead of admitting defeat, Lively's PR team immediately started spinning the ruling as a partial win, carefully framing headlines to make it seem like she had gotten what she wanted. But behind the scenes, it was clear. This was not the outcome her team had hoped for. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, Ryan Reynolds. The Hollywood golden boy has found himself in the middle of this mess, whether he likes it or not. His joke at SNL 50 was already controversial, but now, after Colin Jost's dig at his wife, the narrative has shifted. What seemed like a minor PR mishap at first now looks like a strategic miscalculation. By joking about the lawsuit, Reynolds may have unintentionally opened the door for others to pile on, and with Hollywood already turning against Lively, this could end up being the moment that shifts the tide permanently. So what happens next? With a trial set for March 2026, this legal battle isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are pulling out all the stops, doubling down on their PR efforts, and calling in some of the most powerful crisis managers in the world. But Justin Baldoni isn't backing down either. His legal team is shutting down Lively's subpoenas, his PR team is framing him as the real victim, and Hollywood insiders are quietly aligning themselves with his side. At this point, it's not just about the lawsuit. It's about reputation, careers, and long-term Hollywood alliances. Who will come out on top? And more importantly, will either of them come out unscathed? One thing's for sure, this isn't over yet. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned because this battle is just getting started.